So I played the new agent Clove recently, and I gotta be honest, I love the way that their kit works. So those of you that might not know, because maybe you took a break from Valorant like I did, there's a new agent in the game and their name is Clove, and they're the newest controller. But when I say controller, I use that term very loosely with them because that's not all they can do. But before we get into all that, man, I am getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a brief introduction of who I am. My name is Tutti, and I like to play a variety of games over on my channel, and Valorant just happens to be one of those games. Now, I want to say this as well. I'm not somebody that's like crazy cracked out. You're not going to see me in immortal ranks or anything like that. Currently, I'm at like silver 3, and I'm a few games away from getting into gold. So for me, that's a huge accomplishment because I don't play the game all that often. So if you're somebody like me and you might have been hard stuck in like silver and below, or maybe even gold, maybe this video is a little bit of help for you. You know, since I really put in like, I want to say 6 or 7 hours straight of playing Clove before I had to get ready to go to bed and go to work. But I learned a lot in that short period of time of playing Clove and how their abilities work. Some things that I learned that maybe other people didn't notice or didn't know and are having a little bit of trouble of figuring out, maybe I can help you guys out some. So if you're interested in that and you want to know more about this agent, stick around. And like I said, I'm going to break down why Clove is such a unique controller. And I use that term loosely because they feel more than just a controller. So before we can really move on with the rest of the video, I got to talk about Clove's abilities and explain them a little bit to you guys as I'm reading them off. So let's talk about their pick-me-up ability. Now, this one, it states when you activate to absorb the life force of a fallen enemy that Clove's damaged or kill, gaining haste, which is the speed boost, and temporary health, so like an overshield, almost like Reyna. And again, we're already getting into why I say they're not a normal controller, because with this you do get that movement speed. Like I said, it's not a huge movement speed, but you do notice a little something, and then you get the health. Like I said, it's the overshield, so that makes a big difference, especially in early rounds. That could be the biggest game changer right there. It's almost like you bought a shield without having to buy a shield. Then moving on, you have metal. Now this is going to take a little bit more practice for me as well. I have to remember to use this one, but basically this is where they throw a fragment and it does a temporary decay on the target. You have that. It doesn't last all that long, but it is still nice to have if you're getting ready to peek or swing a corner with your teammates or something like that. Now you don't have to necessarily worry about getting in too many shots if you're somebody who kind of sprays when you're in panic, or you might miss that first initial shot, or you might get a body shot and that's not enough to kill them. But with the metal, it could be just the right amount of damage to take them out. Before I move on, I also want to mention that this ability is able to actually bounce off of walls. So if you wanted to use it to kind of like make a play, you throw it at a wall and then it bounces back and then hits somebody, it can do that. Next up, we move on to their smoke, which is called Ruse. And just like any other controller, you know, they throw a smoke. Now, the thing is with Clove smoke, the way it works is they look through the iPad like Brim does, right? So it's the same type of concept, except Clove only gets 2 smokes. Now you can wait over time and it'll charge up again and you can get smokes. And then this is where Clove gets really unique once again, y'all. If you were to die and in the middle of a fight, let's say you died early in the round, as long as you died close enough to your teammates and maybe in the area where you guys are actually going to plant the spike, you can actually still use your smokes. Now, the thing is that iPad that I was talking about earlier, it's a smaller little iPad. You can't see all that much. And I finally realized is that you can't see that much because exactly where you died is about the amount of the area that you can see. So if your teammates decide to rotate to B or C, if that map is big enough for that, you will not be able to help them in that instance. But if they stay on the site where you died, then Clove can still put smokes. And they still get the same 2 smokes and they still regen over time. Just it's such a nice ability where it keeps you in the game and it allows you to still be a controller and help the team even when you're dead and gone. And that is huge within itself because now the team is almost never without a smoke. And then lastly, we have to talk about Clove's ultimate, which is not dead yet. Once you die with the ultimate, you then have a short window and you'll see the little bar go down, and that's your window to select if you want to use the res or not and come back. Now, if you do decide to come back, You do almost like Reyna does, where you kind of phase and turn into this astral being, and you get a little bit of movement speed and everything like that, so it's nice, and you cannot be shot while you're in that form, just like Reyna. Now, the drawback to it is, if you don't get a kill or damage somebody to an assist to where you can basically use the first ability and you can get that life force back, you're going to die when the timer runs out. So you want to make sure that you kill somebody or you damage somebody. And don't worry, you don't have to be in the line of sight when they die. If they die behind a wall, the ability will still work and you can take their life force and you'll come back to life. Once you do that, that's it. You cannot come back to life again. Your ability does not work. You used up your ultimate, right? So don't think, oh, I can just keep doing this over and over the entire round. That's not how it works. But before I finish with that, I also want to talk about some key things that I've noticed is that if you're the last person alive, it seems like it wasn't always allowing me to use my ultimate. So my team would all go down and I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'll be fine. I have my ultimate, I can use that, but it wouldn't let me sometimes. And then other times it would. I don't know, maybe my teammates didn't die before me. Maybe we died around the same time and it allowed me. I'm not sure. But it feels like as of right now, if you're the last person alive and then you die with the ultimate, you're not allowed to use it. So another thing too is I was watching Keo. If you guys don't know who that is, he's a bigger streamer for Val and has been playing it for a few years now. But he was saying something about it might be a bug currently with the ultimate. When you die and then use it to come back, the gun that you had originally might be behind you, so you might want to phase backwards and look for your gun and pick that up. But apparently that's not supposed to happen. So just so you know, that is a bug, and some of you guys might be pissed off because you're like, why do I have a pistol when I shouldn't, and I should have like a Vandal or Phantom? Just letting you know, that's what he said. I kind of noticed it a little bit, but yeah, so there you go. So there you have it. I hope that was pretty helpful for anybody that might be in the same position as me. And I mean, maybe you can take something from this and really get out there and show everybody that you really are a Clove main. And you know, that's a character that you want to main. Cause I'll be honest with you, they definitely somebody that I want to main. I mean, the way that I was able to play around and the way I felt using Clove was amazing in my opinion. So that's just my take. Is it a hot take? Probably, but I think this might be a hotter take. Clove might be the best smoke in the game. That's just me. That is just me. So there you have it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Once again, y'all, I'll catch you in the next video, especially if you enjoy this. And if you do, leave some likes down there and leave some comments on what you want to see next. But with all that, I'm gonna get up out of here. Piece of hair grease.